everyone, it's Diane with SewBatik, and today we are going to talk about the Making Backpack project, which is a pattern by Noodlehead, and I'm featuring our 8.6 ounce Batik canvas. Here is the Making Backpack project featuring our 8.6 ounce Batik canvas. I absolutely love how this turned out, and it is going to become my day-to-day, every single day backpack or bag for carrying my laptop and notebooks and all those different things that I carry every single day, which is typically too much stuff. But the Making Backpack pattern, let's talk about the pattern just briefly so that you can kind of get an idea of what the pattern is all about. There are two different sized bags in this particular pattern. So you can decide whether you like the regular size, which is what I made, or a mini version. The mini version measures 8.5 inches wide by 10 inches tall, and the depth is about 4.5 inches. The regular size, which is so perfect for my laptop, is 11.5 inches wide by 15 inches tall, and the depth is 5 inches. So you can put a lot of stuff in here. I'm probably going to have to be careful how much I put in there. But the design of this particular pattern it's great because even though I'm using our 8.6 ounce canvas, there are so many different options that she describes in this particular pattern that you take into consideration as you're assembling the pattern itself. So she describes how to use waxed canvas, how to use quilter's cotton, and how to use just different weighted canvas as well. And the use or non-use of soft and stable as your stabilizer, or interfacing to fuse to the main and the lining portions of the bag, all are determined by what fabric you choose. I'm going to talk to you today about what I specifically used to make this version with our canvas and all the different things that I did for this bag. We need to have a main fabric. I selected our Gardeny's Divine motif in the shade of Firecracker Red. And it's a little bit bold for me, but I absolutely love it. And with the regular size bag, I needed a yard of fabric. And even though our canvas is 57 inches wide, I did need a little bit extra because I incorporated the canvas as the handles and the backpack straps. So I do have a little bit canvas left over still for other projects, but it was great to be able to incorporate the fabric as my handles and straps just to make it really a completed look. The pattern does talk about how to work with cotton webbing. I followed the same instructions. I just created my straps in the length that was required and sewed them and attached them exact same way that the pattern describes. With our canvas, I coordinated that with a yard of lining fabric. So we need a yard of lining, and we selected the nautical blue hand-dyed quilter's cotton. This is our Batik Cotton. And I really like the coordinating color because it draws out the blue that's in this particular shade of Firecracker Red. I think it's just absolutely great. And I have to thank you guys for voting on which zipper color to select. We did decide to go with the blue, which is the blast off blue, and over the atomic red. Red would have been just fabulous as well for all of you guys who love the red shade. But I decided to go with blue because the lining fabric was blue. And then you're going to need a little bit of hardware. I have this really, really cute label that says handmade on it. And just do something fun to add a little bit of your personality and creativity to the bag. Our kits are going to include the little handmade label as a treat. I think that's just fun to add to any bag. And then you'll need some 1.5 inch hardware for the backpack strap itself. And so we need a rectangle that's 1.5 inches and the wide mouth slider. And I used the nickel finish from Diane. There is soft and stable in the front panel and the back panel. It's not quilted. It's just sewn in between the lining and the main portion of your bag, once you've added the pockets and finished everything off the way that you want, you stitch those together all the way around the outside. That's all you're doing before you assemble the bag. It's so simple to make. Now, the one other thing that we need is we do need interfacing. I did interface the lining and the pockets, the lining portion of the pockets. I did not interface any of the main canvas pieces at all. I just felt like it was unnecessary. It didn't need to have any more stability. So no interfacing there, which is fantastic. The only question that I did get yesterday when I had posted the finished kind of a quick summary of this bag was, did I put soft and stable in the base of the bag? Which is a great question because I am going to put my laptop in here. I didn't do that because I considered it, but I didn't do it because I decided that the depth of my seam, which is adding the main portion of the bag, which is canvas, soft and stable, lining that's interfaced, with the base of this bag that goes all the way around our side panel. Stitching that together, I ended up with, I think the seam was like the depth of anywhere between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch. So it gets quite thick underneath your needle. And so I decided not to put the stabilizer in the side panel of this bag. Instead, what I'm going to do, and I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to create with the leftover canvas that I have, I'm going to create a base stabilizer. I'm going to use the Diane base stabilizer that measures 4 1/4 by 11 1/4. I'm going to make a sleeve that also has the stabilizer in it. Put this on the bottom, which actually fits beautifully. So once I have that sleeve made, I'm going to put that in the bottom of this bag. And it is going to really add that level of stability I need. Let me show you. Kind of jumping around here on what I want to talk about, but I'm going to show you the difference. So here is my laptop. I bought a new laptop and I bought it for its features, and I did not even look at how heavy this laptop is. This laptop is about 5 pounds, slightly less than 5 pounds. So that's a lot of weight in a bag that doesn't have a stabilizer. So let me show you. I'm just going to put that in here, and I'll put like one of my notebooks that I use in here and hold this up. Do you see the bottom and how it bows? Can you see that? That is too much weight for the inside of this bag. It will really drag down the side seams. So by putting in, let me take these back out. By putting in this stabilizer, even without the foam in it, I'm going to put the foam in just because I just want everything to be cushioned. And then put these in. It just makes a dramatic difference. So whether or not you use a Diane stabilizer that you buy or your own, it needs to be harder than a cardboard, because if you have any weight at all, and I can't use that, I would need this stabilizer. Look at that. Perfectly flat. So the benefits of a base stabilizer are just, gotta have them. Gotta have them. So I will finish that off today and be able to use this bag at the end of the day. It's going to be great. Now, and I think the handles are strong enough. It's going to be so much fun to use this. Let's talk a little bit about the straps. I had mentioned that the pattern supply list includes cotton webbing. So if you have cotton webbing at home, that's perfect. I did not, and I also wanted to really test out this canvas. So what I did is I cut strips of our canvas to meet the required lengths of this bag. I think the backpack straps themselves are 36 inches long, and then we need a couple of strips for our connector, as well as the 1-inch wide handles that we need too. So what I did is I took that 1.5 inch that I need and multiplied that by 4. So I cut my strips of canvas, pressed them in half, and then opened that up and pressed each one of the sides in to create my straps. I top stitched all the way around the straps to give it that really, really nice finished look. And they're perfect. I just followed the pattern instructions for inserting them where they needed to go. And I did not, however, one of the instructions that the Noodlehead patterns have is to fold your handle to make it like a little smaller handle, stitch it down. I did not do that. I really like how this looks open, and it just gives me a little bit more to grasp when I'm picking this bag up. It's, when it has a little bit of weight in it. And so I like that look of it. I think I did back here, I did a project that does have that sewn down, and I just don't think it has enough. It gives it reinforcement, but I don't know if it's necessary. So I didn't do that on this particular bag. So for the straps, I'm going to have a little bit of an insert, an addendum to this pattern so that you can see and follow those instructions on how to make your own straps out of the canvas. So this, again, we took 1.5 inches, or in the case of the handle, which is 1 inch, multiplied that by 4 because we need 4 sections of that. Go to your pressing station, press that in half, and then press each side in and top stitch. That simple strap. Did I change anything else? Yes. The only other thing that I did is, the assembly of this bag is super simple. And if you have any questions about any technique, anything that needs further description for assembling this bag, let me know, and I'll take you through a more in-depth step-by-step of that. But it is really a simple bag to assemble. The inside of this bag, it's really fun. I've not worked on a project where the inside of the bag is like a quilt. It is a simple rectangle, and we have to stitch and cover our seam with binding. She describes purchasing bias tape, opening it up, stitching 1/4 inch, and then folding it around the binding or the seam, and then top stitching. I didn't like that look simply because her seam allowances are a 1/2 inch. So we have a 1/2 inch seam and then only a 1/4 inch binding. I really like the look of it being completed. And so I started and used matching cotton, which will also be in your kit. This is our Batik Cotton, and it is Gardenese Divine in the shade of Firecracker Red. So what I did is I cut the binding strips out of this fabric so that everything looked coordinated. I could have included additional blue and used the blue as the binding, but I really like how this looks and really kind of adds a little bit of life to the inside of the bag. So I cut 2.5 inch strips. You only need about 72 inches for the front panel and the back panel, because each one of the panels, let me pop this other side open, each one of the panels has to have binding to finish it off. And so I folded my binding in half, just like I did when I created the straps. You fold it in half, fold it in half again, and make yourself your own binding. It does not have to be bias. It can be straight grain binding. And followed her instructions for stitching it on, but I used the 1/2 inch seam to stitch it on. And then folded it up, folded it under, and then top stitched all the way around. And it finishes off just beautifully with your mitered corners And it's really a simple bag to sew, to finish, and to truly enjoy. Other than that, there really wasn't any stress points. There wasn't anything that was a little too thick, except for one spot right here. And I'm going to bring this to your attention because this is your choice of how you want to reduce some of the depth of the multiple layers of fabric here. But right here, we have our zipper tabs. And it really is nice to have these zipper tabs because it covers the edge of our zipper that's been inserted into the side panel. And it gives you the ability to hold something when you want, see, when you want to close your bag. Okay, it gives you that extra little handle. In hindsight, I would make this particular handle, this zipper tab, out of cotton, not the canvas. It really is bulky because I think when I was stitching right here through all of the layers of canvas, because there's also a seam where the top portion of the side panel with the zipper is attached to the base portion of the side panel. There are already 3 layers of canvas here. We just added about 8 layers with the zipper tab. So you've got a lot of layers and a zipper. You've got a lot of layers that you're stitching through. And so you need to decide whether or not that's too bulky for you, if you should be using a cotton instead of the canvas. That choice is yours based off of your skill set and the equipment that you're using, the sewing machine that you have, and whether or not it has the capability of going through that many layers of canvas. Mine did, and so I just kept going. And it worked beautifully. I just needed to bring that to your attention because it's very, very thick. The other thing is I did use a zipper foot to attach the zipper, and I used my zipper foot when sewing across this join of the top of the side panel to the bottom, because if you keep your zipper foot completely on the bulk of that seam, it goes through like butter. I mean, it was really amazing at how I was able to finish that without it feeling lopsided because it is a stack of fabric. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But otherwise, this is really, truly one of the easiest backpacks I have made, and I'm going to make a couple more. And what I want to do is I'm going to make another one with the other pocket option on the front, which is just the straight pocket, because I really haven't done a lot of work with rivets. And so I want to teach myself how to do the rivets, which I'm excited about. And I want to add some more pockets to the inside of the bag. And I think they're going to be not necessarily zipper pockets as much as simple pockets that I can use for organizing, whether it be pens or a ruler or just anything that might be small, might be my equipment for my earbuds or whatever it happens to be, just something that I can slide into the front side of this backpack. So I'm going to work on that a little bit too, but simple pockets to add to the lining piece before you assemble the front panel to the soft and stable and to the lining piece itself. So always do your pockets before you assemble. But otherwise, that's it. This is like such a fun project. And I am so excited to share this with you. And definitely, I know this wasn't a tutorial, but I had to share my lessons learned as well as how much fun it is to work with the canvas. And a couple things. Pre-wash your fabric. It's good to get any excess dyes and wax out of your fabric before you start working on the project. Give it a good press once you take it out of the dryer. And I used the So Fine thread as well as a size 90-14 needle. So a little bit stronger, a little bit larger needle. If you feel you need to use a size 16 jeans needle, you definitely can. I just didn't feel like I needed to, and so I didn't. I did have to use a bobbin and a half. So if you pre-wind 2 bobbins, you'll have enough and won't have to stop and pre-wind a bobbin. And I did use only blue thread once. Otherwise, I did use the thread that matched our Gardeniste Divine Firecracker Red for almost the entire bag. Let's see, anything else? I don't think there's anything else. Just pick the side, pick the pocket that you love and add any pockets that you want on the inside, but otherwise you are going to love making backpack. Let's talk a little bit about your options for the 8.6 ounce Batik Canvas. I love this shade and how it turned out, the Firecracker Red. I think it is just fantastic, but it is a bit bold. So I'm going to grab our stack of all of our 8.6 ounce Batik Canvas. There are so many different shades that I think will work for this bag, and we have such an array of different colors. One of the things that I really wanted to do, I'm going to flip this over real quick, is I love just even a subtle shade of chrome. This is Valhalla in the shade of chrome. That could also be just a simple, understated backpack. It would be beautiful. And the dusty denim, I have so much blue, so this is actually perfect for me. It'll accent a lot of the blue garments that I have. But twilight blue could be our, I use this a lot as well, the Gardeniste Divine in the shade of Dusty Topaz. Beautiful is that? So blues and teals. We have our Gardeniste Divine in the shade of Napa. Love that shade. And I love the Violetta in the shade of Malbec. Isn't that beautiful? And if you want it bright and bold or simple hand-dyed red, this is Azalea. This would be a beautiful, beautiful backpack. And remember, we do have all of the accessories to go with these, our zipper collection, as well as the By Annie hardware that you can select. So all of these bag kits that we have on our website are customizable to you. So you select the main fabric, the lining fabric, even the zipper if you'd like, and we will package it all up for you. Now, the one thing I really need to make something that is our solid tuxedo. I think this would be a great backpack option as well. Okay. So if you have any questions, definitely send us some questions, some comments, and let us know what you think. Any questions that you'd like me to answer about the construction, I can definitely amend the video and add those instructions for you. Until next time, keep sewing, smiling, and sharing.